This week in 3D Archery, another day, another bear, another target. Hey everybody, welcome to 3D Archery. Greg here. Alright, another bear. You know, I did one bear before, and that came out pretty good. And a lot of people have been asking me since the video, well Greg, how is that bear held up? Well, interesting you should ask, and I should be making this video because I happened to be out at the range today, and he is out there. So let's take a quick look at the last bear target that I made. Alright everybody, here's the bear. Been out here for over 9 months, maybe a year now, almost can't remember when I put it up, but it's been through numerous shoots, and I'm telling you, this thing is held up. This rubber paint is awesome. It totally protected it. It's really expensive though, but it is held up incredible. The Sika fence post mix is holding up great. I think the rubber is helping it, protect it, and keeping it pliable and usable. This thing is awesome. I'm telling you, it's one of the best ones. So it turned out great. It survived great. It's gone through, let's see, 6 or 7 archery shoots now. So this thing originally was only supposed to last a year, but I think this club's going to get multiple years out of this target. Right? So there you go. That's how we did it, but we're not going to do the new one like that. We're going to do one totally different. So let's go back to the workshop. Alright everybody, there you have it. I'm telling you, I'm shocked at how well this thing hung up. Now this one's going to be a little different. This is the stuff I use. You've seen it on TV. Right? It's not cheap, but I'm telling you, it sealed that one up like you would not believe. It is gorgeous. Alright, so this one here, let's take a quick look at it, right? This is the bear target. It's standing with his paws like he's scratching a tree. And this one here has seen better days. You can see like the foot's dry rotted off. The foam is hardened up. It's dry rotting up. He still has his 2 pegs. The locking system, as you can see right here, is a little messed up, right? Broken here, broken here. It's broken in here. On this side, we'll turn it in. You can see that. So he's got some issues. I'll pick the little guy up. The head doesn't seem to want to come off anymore. And the target area is shot up. This side, not nearly as much damage. So what's my goals for him? Well, I'm going to make him one piece. It's just the easiest way for me to do those things, right? I'm going to cut this out and use the foam, proper foam this time, refill it, and then I'm going to repaint them. Now, I've been doing some research from people that work on it, and they said the best paint on these is 100% acrylic. So we're going to give it a try. Now, you know me, I can't do anything basic. I had an ideal for him that I want to do. So instead of having him scratching on a tree, I'm going to build a honeybee's nest, put his paws in it, have the honeybee like that, and I'm going to try to, I'm thinking about, you can see he's got double paws here, but I was thinking about leaving it like that, making a fake paw and bringing it up like he's licking it. Something like that. So we'll find out as we go along. So hopefully if I can get this one done, the club's going to have another awesome looking target. Alright, our first step is to get rid of the damage. Now there's a couple ways of doing it. You can use a sawzall, you can just dig in. I'm just going to use a basic little handheld saw. I'm going to make a good sized cut, pretty much the entire target area. Now, one thing they tell you to do if you're using the foam is to lay a clear plastic over it and draw out the target zone using a magic marker so you can apply it later. But I don't have to do that on this target because I have this side that's in pretty good shape. Alright, so let's do some cutting. Just to start making a mess here. As the trucks drive by and everybody looks at me, you just start cutting. Look at the arrow holes. And it runs in, I'll zoom it out. So it runs, you can see it runs at an angle to give some structural stability to their legs. But this is right where the bullseye was. The 10 ring's right here. So people are hitting that over and over. I'm going to try to clear it out. Maybe I'll cut it out so it won't be in there so much. Alright, see I got it cut out, cleaned out pretty good. This part here that I thought was just a piece of metal, it's actually the tube here for the support dowel. They ran it that far up. It does work as support for the leg too. Alright, so that was an interesting find. So we're all good to go here. Got to cut it out, or sorry, not cut it out, get my foam ready, staple the plastic around, put a hole or something in it, and start filling in. That's the next step, is to actually put in the new foam in the target. Alright everybody, the target repair foam I got is from a guy I met at ETAR. 3D Target Repair Foam.com. Paul Hunt. In my testing, his scored some of the highest, and it's easy to work with, and you buy his little kit, and it comes with printed instructions. It tells you everything to do. The first thing they tell you to do, which I think is pretty smart, is you trace out the target score zone so you can put it on later. Clean out your target, all right? They tell you how to do that, which we've done. They said make sure you let it sit out a day or so the inside of the foam can dry out. He even measures it with a moisture gauge. Then we're on this step here, step 4. It's forming it. We're going to use plastic sheet. They say 6 mils best, 3 mils okay. I'm using 3 mil. You're going to staple around the area to be repaired. 3/4 or 3/4. That's I'd love to see that size. 3/8 or 1/4 inch size staples work fine. You want to be about 1/8 to 1/4 inch off the cutoff area, and you want each staple about 1/8 of an inch apart. It says note, if this is a single side repair, leave a large enough opening to pour the mixed material in the open area. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so pretty simple. How I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it his way, but I'm going to leave my sheet like this, staple around it, and then I'll trim it off later. Alright, so let's see what I've got my staple done. They look like 1/4 inch. Let's see how it comes out. Now, mine being 3 mil, I think it'll be alright. Might be a little bulge here, but I'm going to carve it out and scrape it out to make it look good. Alright, that step's down. Done. Down, done. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, time to mix it. This is how you send it to you, just like this. It says A and B on it. Just follow the directions. Mixing target repair. Use a clean, dry mixing vessel. We recommend a gallon jug with the top cut off. Popcorn container, small plastic pail. Remember to make sure your mixing vessel is at room temperature. Been out here for 2 days, it should be room temperature. Pour component B. You may want to pour in half the amount, replace the cap, shake container to mix any pigment that is settled in the bottom into the mixing container. Bye. Let's just shake it up. Have your mixing tool in an electric high-speed drill, 2,500 RPM, and ready to mix. This stuff's pretty easy to work with. I did it during my test video, and you got more time than you think. Let's just put it that way. The trick is it doesn't do anything until you stop mixing. As long as you keep mixing it, you're good to go. But it's when you stop mixing it is when it starts to expand and do all its magic stuff. This is the resin. Ugh. It looks like honey. Okay, it's in. 30 seconds of mixing. The cool part about this, which you can't see, is this material starts sinking into the foam, and you start to panic. But then the magic happens and expands and it comes back up. Okay, everybody, it's been 24 hours, and I can tell you what, it didn't fill my hole. You ain't too excited about that. I got a good amount left to go. It filled the vast majority of it up, but it did not fill my hole. So, I'm going to use this. My plan's pretty simple. I am going to cut little holes in it. Stick this in and spray it. Well, I could do it just like this too. Maybe we'll try this. Let's see how it works. Alright everybody, while this is drying, and I already scraped it off, you can see it's expanding. Now, a couple things about this foam. This can take weeks to harden. The outside shell dries out, but not the inside, so you might have to let it go. The outside here is all hard, soft. You can see how much I press it in here. Here, nothing. There, soft. Alright. So moving on to building the bee's nest. Now, found out that honeybees make their nests in vertical sheets. The shell's on the inside and the honey's on the outside, whereas like a hornet's and all that, they got a hardened shell. Didn't know that. Learn something new every day. Alright everybody, here we are. Been a couple days now. It's been really hot, so that hopefully make it dry. You can see how much of this crap, I just already tore it off, but I put it back on. I mean, look at the amount of extra foam that came off. More than filled, you can see it blow up a little bit, so there will be some work to do. Now my big question is, when I take off this plastic, two questions. Will the staples come out, or will I have to take those off by hand? And how much of this foam will it tear off? But answer the first one is most of the staples, vast majority came out. And the second answer is no foam. Alright, so next step, I'm going to pull out the rest of the staples, like that, see? And then I'm going to cut it down, trim it, we'll get ready to paint it, then glue it, then paint it. I'll probably glue it, then paint it, and we should be done. Alright, on to the next step. Alright, before we go on, I just want to show you the foam up close. Using that plastic, this came out really smooth. I'll try to zoom in and show you. See how nice of a smooth texture that is? Now, if you compare it to this part up here, move the camera up, zoom in. That's what it's going to be like once I trim it. It's going to be this rough texture. So, just for your own knowledge, if you're going to do it, I would definitely try to get that plastic and get just enough in here, and you'll have a beautiful, beautiful smooth surface to work with. Alright, I'm going to bring in, remember what I told you why I don't like expanding foams? Right here in the one spot where it has to be thick, two nice sized air pockets. Minor ones here which aren't a big deal. But overall, came out pretty good with those two stupid air pockets right there. You know, that's why I don't like the expanding foam. Well, that was quick. Target is now fixed. You know, the light foam is going to be cool because it's two densities. I got the light foam and I got the good quality foam underneath it. Not a whole lot. I've actually touched it on the bottom here. Alright. So what I'm going to do now is I got to find a way to patch these holes. I think I have the answer in my head. I'm going to do that. clean it up. I'm going to epoxy them together, then we get to paint them and put it all together. This ain't too bad, pretty easy so far. Alright everybody, going to try to cut the scoring rings in. Unfortunately, some of it's in my dang extra foam I put in. You say to use a soldering gun, high-tech soldering gun here for me. Alright, see if it works. Should wear a mask. I have ventilation blowing that way. Hopefully I won't be doing it for long. Let's just see if it burns into anything. Scoring rings. Pretty cool. So I took a bunch of this Gorilla Glue construction adhesive, placed it all in there, set it all up. Trying to smooth out my seams a little bit. Trying to give it a little authenticity. Also have a broken part of the foot. Let's see how good this stuff is. Don't really need the foot, but hey, I'm here. I'm working on it. What the heck. Alright everybody, while that's getting dry, I'm doing something else. I finished up my honeycomb here. Now, it's going to look like this. I'm going to paint it all golden and yellow and orange and all that. But you can see what it really is. On this side, there's nothing there. All I did was cut out sections of wood. Feet will go in there. That will secure to the tree. There's a bottom hole down here that's secure to the tree. Right? This is the honey, and this is the honeycombs. Now normally these are a darker color than the honey, but we'll see how we'll work it. So what I can do is I'm going to put a base color down on it of probably a gold. Then I'll work in it by hand and things like that, trying to add some texture to it. Yeah, I know spray foam doesn't look like honey. Honey is a very smooth material. But again, 20 yards. Does it matter? Don't think so. Alright, let's get to painting. Alright everybody, while it's drying and curing, it says it sets in a very short period of time. They claim to paint these foams in acrylic paints. I found this at Michael's without no clue how much I need, but I did the head and I'll tell you what, it came out pretty good. You can see the gold and the honey right here. This has been painted. Gotta let that dry. Gonna let that sit out of the way. Gotta add some texturing to it down the road. But you can watch here, this stuff works pretty darn good. Yep, pretty easy to apply so far. And it does a really great job so far of coating over the exposed foam of the older target. The big question is going to be is, should I put a sealant on it? You know? Well, there's a question I can't answer, but let's take it one step at a time. Alright, target's pretty much done. You can see where the coating came off and where the coating is. Very different looking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and get some Thompson water seal and put on it. Maybe we could protect it a little bit longer. But I was thinking about it. I wanted to make it look a little different. So if he's eating honey, he should have honey on his mouth, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Gorilla Glue stuff. I'm going to put honey on there. And I'm also going to try to make it and put a tongue on it. Make it look like he's licking his lips. Just to make it different from everything else. Because sometimes it is the little things that make something big. Alright, so let's work on that. Mr. Bear. And lots of honey. There we go. Let it dry and then we'll paint it. Almost there. Letting that dry. What I'm going to try to do is I've been told this protects them really well. Now, here's the question, which I'm going to answer. I bet you it protects anywhere where there's original skin on it. I want to know how it protects the areas where the skin's off and it's exposed foam. So that's going to be the interesting one. So I got some here. Interesting stuff. It's white, and they claim it dries clear. So I'm going to apply it and give it a test area, see how it works, and cover the whole thing in it. All right, one more step. Okay, everybody, put the water sealant on, and I'll tell you what, pleasantly surprised. The exposed foam is very porous looking. It's not smooth, but it's not porous either. You know, it's not smooth like this section here that shines. It does make the natural skin shiny. This is still dull, but I think it's on something. It's drying pretty white. You can still, pretty clear. You can still see some white because that's where I put it on extra thick. It's going to take a while to dry. They say 24 hours depending on heat and humidity. But you know what? This might be something to look at in the future. If I let it dry 24 hours, I wonder if I put a couple more coats on it, if it totally seal, you know, build up the level, how that'd work. I'm only going to do one coat on this one. We're going to leave it like that. All right, this is going to be the tongue. That's going to be some honey. We're going to paint that up. And it's done. We're going to take it to Tayogi, put it up, and maybe take a couple shots at it. And we'll see how it all looks. But so far, it's all coming together. All right, it's all done. All right, there's his tongue. Honey coming off. I even put some gold paint on his hands, make it look like honey. So now we got him set up. Now you got to remember when you make these things, you're not going to see it this close unless they're pulling the arrows, and by then it's too late anyways. From 20 yards out, this is going to look pretty decent. So, I'll show you a couple other things I did. Remember, we want to add to the effect. So he's breaking up the nest. Right? And here's broken pieces of the nest. It's going to go on the ground underneath his feet. Alright, so it's going to give you the impression that, you know, he's ripping off the sections of the nest and eating it. And here's the nest itself. The nest itself is going to go like that on his hands. Okay. Adds a little bit more to it. Alright, pretty simple. Going to take it out tomorrow to Tayogi, find a spot for it, put it out, and shoot it a few times. But that's pretty much it. Real simple. I mean, this was a much easier build. Now, yeah, the target's still torn up, but you know, you look up the price of one of these and what I put in to repair it, and they'll get at least 1, maybe 2 more years out of it. That's a heck of a deal. All right, boys and girls, let's take it out, put it outside, and let's see what it looks like on a nice sunny day. All right, everybody, I got it all set up. Found a nice spot on the course. I think it's going to work great, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So here he is. You can see him against the tree. You can see right over there, there's the honey nest, right? His face is up close to it like he's just taking some chunks out of it. You know, simple little things can add a lot to your shot. And as I back up, you're going to see I put part of the nest on the ground. I built him up. He's all done and ready to shoot. We're going to take our shots and we'll talk a little bit more about it, all right? So I'll back you up, show you what it looks like from the trad stake about 20-ish, 23 yards away. Take some shots at it, show you what I did to help the archers, and then we'll wrap all this up. All right, like a dummy, forgot to show you up close. So now you can see the whole thing. There's the tree. Right over there is the extra part of the bee's nest, or the honeybee's nest that he tore down. He's eating. There's little leftover pieces of honey on it. That's the whole target. All right. So there you go. Now you can see the whole thing. Now we'll back up and take some shots at it. All right, everybody. Here we are to take a shot at it. It's not the 20 that I thought when I first set up. Being on the stake, I know its size might be throwing me off. 15 to 18, which is good for traditional. One good thing that I did is when we picked the spot, Scott suggested it, and it's funny, what he suggested was exactly where I was thinking. It was here, because behind it, it's a nice open field, so if they miss, the arrows should be reasonably easy to find. Alright, let's get on my stake here. Let's take some shots at them and let's see what they sound like, huh? Nice and solid. That was a solid sound. Looked a little high. It's in the insert. That was good. Making a nice sound too. It's a solid sound. The foam underneath it seems to be coming out pretty good. Alright. I mean, I can sit here and shoot it all day because it is a fun target. You know, the beauty of what I like, it's a larger target, throws you off on your distance, like I talked about. It's at an angle. It's not that big, you know. If you miss low, you're going to go in the grass. If you miss high, you're going to fly over in the grass. But it's a great setup. Now I'm going to take it back and show you the compound shot that I found. I really like it. So let's go back about 10 to 12 yards and take a look at the compound shot. Alright everybody, there is the compound shot. You notice that tree and then that tree. So they got 1, 2 trees, 3 trees, and there's your target right in the middle. So to give you a better idea, let me reset it. Mosquitoes come to eat me. They land on my lens. There he is. And those are my hits. So you can see right there, it's him. See, got his little tongue out, having a good time. All right. Zoom it back. I think that's a pretty neat looking shot. Nothing hard, totally open for everybody. That's the setup. All right, let's go up, get my arrows. Let's close this out. All right, everybody, not bad. I got, first one was an 8, followed by 2 10s. Let's pull them out. Now I will say, the coating is still a little sticky because Thompson's water seal says 24 hours. It's only been about 12 to 14. And humidity plays a big deal, and it's been nothing but, haven't seen the sun in like 6 days. But that's how it is, all right? So there you go, one bear, all right? I love the tongue. Got his honey. Got the bullseye, got the 8. Painted, coated. Hopefully it'll last a little bit. Now, the big thing on this target, what everybody's probably wondering is, Greg, well, what about cost? You know what, that's a good question. So, if you own, it depends on what you want to use to repair the core, right? Now, if you're going to use the quality foam, the kit I bought was $60, and it didn't cover the whole thing. It'll only cover about a 9-inch by 9-inch hole. All right, mine was a little deeper and a lot wider than that. So you got to know that and keep that in mind. Now, if you wanted to do this on the cheap, I would use Sika fence post mix. It's $10 for a bag. It'd cover that. You could do both sides, and you'd be in great shape. So for me, this is $60 for that. If you want to count the great stuff, if you don't have it in the house, it's about $6 to $8, depending on the one you get. The wood for this, scrap wood. Who cares what you use, right? So that was nothing. The paint, acrylic paint, is what they suggest you use. I had some from Michael's. It was like $6, so I'm about $72, $80 right now. At the max, it would cost me about $100. The Thompson's water seal was $20, but that's for a big gallon plus, right? And that was more than enough, so it'd be spread out, so it doesn't really cost that. So you can repair this target anywhere from $10 up to $100, depending on how bad you want to go. But there you go. We saved a target. It's good to go. It's got a nice solid insert now. All brand new material. Yes, the outside's a crappy Loctite and great stuff type of foam, but underneath it, by maybe ½ an inch to an inch, is that quality 3D foam. All right, boys and girls, there you go. You know, I love doing this stuff. This stuff is fun to me. Setting it up with a little imagination. Hopefully the people that shoot it will enjoy it. All right, boys and girls, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time with an all-new episode, 3D Archery.